turn to answer any questions you might have or address any concerns as they come up. I'll also be coming back to guide you in a brief reflection at the end of your simulation. Now, just so you know, the students themselves, they can do a variety of things. They can participate in pair and shares. They can write on their iPads. They can turn and talk to one another, raise their hands. However, if you ask them to do something they can't do, like give a core response or give a thumbs up, they'll just say something like, "The principal says we're not allowed to get out of our chairs in the school," or whatever it might be. It's totally fine if you ask them to do something they can't do. It's just sort of their way of saying, "Hey, we can't do that." If there's any technical problems, just ask for me, Michael, and I will do my level best to address them as they come up. Do you have any questions before we get started?
I had one question. So we're supposed to compare Lena or Leah's and Max's work, right?
Hmm.
And can they see that, or do I have to show that to them?
No, it's like if you reference it, you can be sure that they'll have it on their iPads. They'll have access to it on their iPads in front of them.
Perfect. Okay.
Great. As soon as you see the students appear on your screen, your simulation will have begun. Good luck, and hey, remember, this is a training simulation, so it's a great opportunity to take risks and try some new approaches. And I'm going to be here with you every step of the way. So once again, good luck, and I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you. Hi, guys.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I'm Miss Bailey.
Hi, Miss Bailey. Hi, Miss Bailey.
Yeah. So you guys worked on a long division problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're going to look into that today. And we're going to do some like comparing of our answers to see different ways to solve it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Yeah. So, Jayla, can you read the problem to me?
Yeah, it's 1080 divided by 15.
Great. Yeah. Some big numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want to start by, can you pair with the person next to you? So we'll do Mina, Will, and Jayla, you group of three, and then Emily and Carlos. Can you guys share or pair with each other and share one thing you found in common in your work and one thing different?
Yeah, so in my task, I made sure that, well, what did you do? Well, I picked 15. I picked 50 to share start with. I picked 60. I did something different. I picked 90. Well, I guess that we all picked a number we thought would go close, but then we just went from there. Yeah, but mine went over, so then I had to use subtraction. Well, that's something we did differently then, I guess, because mine didn't go, like I was thinking about going over to start with. Yeah, so since I did, it's, um, yeah,
Great.
so we did something different.
Alrighty. It sounds like you guys are wrapping up. Awesome. Will, can you share one thing from your group that you guys talked about?
Yeah, Jayla and Mina and I, we did a couple things the same and a couple things different.
Can you?
We, yeah, well, we all picked a number that we thought would be close to start with. We just picked one.
That's great. Yeah. Emily, can you share one thing from your guys' group?
Well, we got different answers.
You did. Did you guys go over them at all?
Yeah, not really. We just talked about our strategies.
Great. That's okay. Awesome. So, if we kind of dig in and pick out, um, or if we dig in and look at each one of yours, Jayla, can I have you explain your work specifically? What was the first thought you had when you started your work?
Yeah, so I kind of did the first part in my head.
Great. Can you explain that?
Yeah, well, I thought about 15 times 100, and I knew that that would go over. That would be way too high. So then I thought about 15 times 50, and I knew that that would be a little too low. So then I wanted a number in between it. Well, in between is 75, but It was easier to multiply 70 with a zero in the ones place, so I just tried 70. That got me really, really close. That got me to 1050. With only 30 left over, I knew 15 times 2 is 30, so it was pretty easy to solve from there.
Yeah, it's great. So, Carlos, I see you did some
Yeah,
addition in yours, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so why'd you do that?
Well, I started kind of like Jayla. I just picked a number to start with, and I picked 10 because I knew it was really low and wouldn't go over. But it only got me to 150. So then I tried 20 and 30. I added up all of the answers until I got to 900. Well, after that, I only needed 180 left, so I went back to 10 because I already knew that was like 150, and then after that, it's just 30 leftovers, 15 times 2, and then I added them all together.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So, there's multiple ways to solve this, right? It's kind of like a guessing game to find the perfect number, right?
Right.
So, we want to figure out the fastest way to solve, right?
hmm
So, can you guys see Lena and Max's work?
Yeah, it's on our iPads.
Yeah, great. We're gonna do another little partner and share. So can you get with your same partners and I'm gonna ask you the same thing, find one thing in common and one thing different. Okay?
Yeah, I really understand Max's work.
I understand Max's work too. Leah's is a little different. That's where it's a little different for me.
Yeah, it's Max and it kind of looks like they're the same thing. Leah has a different strategy.
Well, I got 62 as my answer. So I would say, I think Max's makes more sense to me.
Well, I did something different for all of them, and I just think it's a little different.
Yeah, I don't know. It's with Leah, it's like it seems like she doesn't use the one spot at all.
Yeah, Leah's is very different. Yeah, I don't. It's very clean though. Yeah, she also checks her work, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, I guess that is. But Max's is like we both make 50, so I like Max.
Great. Okay. You guys had some good conversations going on. Mina, can you share one thing from your group?
Yeah. We both noticed that we all noticed that we were very similar to how Max did his work.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree with you. Carlos, can you share one thing that you guys talked about?
Yeah, with Mina's work, we noticed that or with Leah's work rather, we noticed that she checked her work, and we thought that was really important because neither of us did that.
Yes, yes. So why is it important to check our work?
Well, it gives you like you can like see it again just to make sure that it's like a little different. So you can see if like if you double check, then you know if you're like if you're right or if you have to go back and look at your work again.
Yeah. So if we look at Leah's, she checked her work by doing 72 times 15, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I can see how it might be kind of confusing how Leah got 72, right?
Mm-hmm. It's just very different from like how we did it.
Yeah. Yeah. So if we look at Leah's, what does it look like? She found how many times 15 goes into what?
1080, 1080.
She did. But I heard one of you, I can't remember who, it looked like she ignored the ones place, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we look at Leah's, so she did 100 or she did 15 into 180. She ignored that ones place. And then what's 180 minus or 108 minus 105?
It's 3.
3. So that's how she got the 3. And then if you imagine just dropping down that 0, because we have that 0 left over, right? She didn't use it. So
Mm-hmm.
then she has 30. Do you guys see how she did that? Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then she just found how many times 15 goes into 30. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah, that actually kind of makes sense. I also it's a really clean way to do it too.
It is. It's very efficient, right?
Mm-hmm.
She solved it with small numbers, right? So they were easier to work with, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then if we look at Max's, his his was also pretty fast, right? But he did
Yeah.
more what yeah, he did more what you guys did. He looked at the whole number rather than breaking it apart. And then what was he doing when he circled all those numbers?
He was adding all those numbers up.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So you guys kind of did that too, right? In all of your work. I see Emily, you did that exact circling, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. That's great. So we can kind of see how there might be a little bit faster ways to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, let's see here. I want you guys to think a little bit here. How would you solve this problem if it was 180 divided by 5 instead of 15? Jayla, you want to share how you would solve that?
I just need. The principal says we have 1 minute left.
Oh, okay. Great. Can you give me a little thought on how you would do that if you
I
did?
might try to do the same thing I did. Like use it. Might try to start it in my head. And if I couldn't do that, I might try to use sort of what like Max did.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's great. Yeah, just kind of trial and error, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what are we going to remember to do at the end of our work?
We're always going to learn to check our work.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Mm-hmm. Because Carlos, you got a little bit different of an answer, right?
Yeah.
So we can always go back and try to solve it again, right?
Uh-huh. 100%.
Yeah. Great. Well, in the next lesson, you guys are going to work on the standard algorithm, which is kind of what Leah was doing, okay? So breaking that number apart so you can solve it a little bit faster.
All right, welcome back and congratulations on completing your simulation. In relation to the outcome, like what strategies or best practices do you feel like you used well?
I really liked when they talked with the partner. I think it was a faster way to talk about the work and get them to really think about it.
Great.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you had a chance to do this again, what do you think you would improve upon, if anything?
Um, Probably just like the order of my questions.
Uh,
Uh, I kind of skipped one or two that I wanted to ask just because I was getting nervous on time and
sure,
things.
sure. Yeah, I hear you. And finally, what's something you're going to take away from this experience that you might use the next time you face a similar situation in your real life?
Yeah, I definitely think it's less about discussing the answer and rather just like um, how they got there. So I'll definitely be using that again, like
Great.
focusing less on the answer and more of what their thought process to get there was.
Well, this completes your training simulation. Thank you for your participation and your thoughtful reflection. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.